A royal author has said King Charles III has a proven track record of offering olive branches to family members, which goes back to his younger years. King Charles was one of the only royal family members to visit his great-uncle, Edward VIII, in France. The 74-year-old was reportedly keen to build bridges between his family, even urging the late Queen and Queen Mother to reconcile with Edward. Royal expert and author Gareth Russell claimed that, in a recent response to the King's handling of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, he shows a recurring theme of extending olive branches to members of his family. Mr. Russell told US Weekly, "I found out that in the late 1960s and early 1970s, when Charles was still pretty young, he was one of the only members of the royal family who was prepared to go over to Paris to visit his great-uncle, Edward VIII, and Wallis Simpson." He added, "He said to the Queen Mother and to the Queen, 'I think we should try to build bridges between this side of the family.' He thought his great-uncle and aunt should be brought back into the fold a bit." The author, who wrote the book about the late Queen Mother called Do Let's Have Another Drink, said, "So there is a past track record of Charles doing things like this. In that sense, it tracks as consistent with what we know of him as a person." Mr. Russell then went on to discuss the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, stating that the pair could face similar circumstances to Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson. Like Harry, Edward travelled out of the UK when he stepped back from royal duties. Edward lived in Paris, and after moving to France, he thought he would still be an important figure. Much like Meghan, Wallis was born in the US, referring to the Sussexes as significant now due to large public interest. Mr. Russell said this will fade. He said, "They will become insignificant in the way that Edward VIII became insignificant and very unhappy." It remains unknown whether Meghan and Harry will be in the UK for the King's coronation in May, but it has been confirmed that they have received an invite. Prince Harry made a surprise return to London today to attend in person a high-profile hearing at the Royal Courts of Justice. Harry is one of the high-profile individuals who in October last year announced they were bringing claims for misuse of private information against Associated Newspapers. The Duke of Sussex is not expected to meet the King or Prince William during this visit.